Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ruin. So today we're doing Magic the Gathering Top 10 Amulet. And now, at number 10, we're going to start off with Giant's Amulet from Kaldheim. It's an uncommon, just going for an average 10 cents on the market. This one, it's made it because, well, it costs 1 mana with an equip 2, which is really cool. But you may pay 4 if you do create a 4/4 blue giant wizard creature token with that and attach to it. Creature gets +1 defense and this creature has hexproof as long as it is untapped. So very impressive, I think, for one, or paying the 4 mana, which would be the most likely. And that's the reason why it's at number 10. So let's move on to number 9. We have a very impressive one. We got Fourthought Amulet. It's from Legends. It's a rare, going for $27.17 on the market. Reason why we have it at number 9 is, well, it may be expensive because it's old, but it costs so much mana but I had to put it on the list. Costs 5 mana for this artifact. Say pay 3 during your upkeep or it's destroyed. That's just expensive already. If you receive more than 2 damage from any sorcery or instant source, that damage is reduced to 2. I put it on because I just think, well, it's very specific. So let's move on to number 8. We have Avarus Amulet from Magic 2015. It's a rare, going for 22 cents on the market. It costs 4 mana with an equip 2, so it's very expensive, but it does have a +2 and has vigilance if you put on a creature. But my favorite part about this is at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card. Nothing beats getting more cards over and over again to, well, suspend it. So let's move on to number 7. We have Amulet of Unmaking. It's actually on the reserve list. It's a Mirage card, rare, going for $2.15. And for some reason, this amulet costs 5 as well. It says remove it from the game, remove target artifact, creature, or land from the game. Play this ability as a sorcery. So it is kind of impressive. Even though it does cost a lot, it could target pretty much anything on the board. And this was before Planeswalkers, so it was basically anything on the board. So let's move on to number 6. We have Amulet of Safekeeping. It's from Core 2019. It's a rare, going for 15 cents on the market. But this one only costs 2 to play. It says whenever you become the target of a spell or ability your opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless its controller pays 1. And it has creature tokens to get -1, -0. So with everything that it costs only 2 for this artifact, that's why I just think it deserves to be at number 6 because of how much it costs. So let's move on to number 5. And halfway down our list, we have Quicksilver Amulet. It's from various sets. It's a rare, going for $3.79 on the market. I do like the picture for the Urzus, but costs 4. Tap it. 4. Choose a creature card in your hand and put that creature into play. Man, you can do so many creatures now that are expensive and just for only 4 mana. I think this card is very great, but I think it does deserve the number 5 spot. So let's move on to number 4. We have Primal Amulet. It's from Ixalan. It's a rare. That's right. It's going for $11.21 on the market. This artifact costs only 4 mana for instant and sorcery spells you cast. Costs 1 less to cast. Okay, that's not bad. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on Primal. And if there are no 4 or more counters on it, you may remove those counters and transform it. And basically get that something very impressive. But I think the instant sorcery spells, 1 less, it makes a big difference. So let's move on to number 3. We have Jeweled Amulet from Ice Age. It's an uncommon, going for $2.16. And the most important thing is, it only costs 0. So you may pay 1. It says put a charge counter on the amulet. Note that what type of mana you use to pay for this activation costs. Use this ability only if there are no charge counters on it. Okay. Remove the charge counter from the amulet to add 1 mana of this type last used to put a charge counter on it. To your mana, play this ability as Interrupt, as interrupts were common back in the day and now it doesn't exist. And I think this is very underrated. I think this is actually playable just because it costs 0. I think that's so cool. But let's move on to number 2. Next we got is Veilstone Amulet. It's from Future Sight. It's a rare, going for $8.68. This one only costs 3, which is awesome. It says whenever you play a spell, creatures you control can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control this turn. for only 3 mana and this ability, I think it is very, very impressive, and you can play around and have this. And this is actually playable in the Magic world. But let's move on to number 1. And we have Amulet of Vigor from various sets. It's a rare, going for $28.12 at the time of this video. Well, this artifact only costs 1, and it says whenever a permanent enters the battlefield tapped under your control, untap it. That is a pain in the butt for an opponent. This card, just because it only costs 1, this just is really cool. I don't understand how an Amulet of Vigor can do this, but we'll take it. And there's that and the top 10 amulets. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.